Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of What You Smellin with Chubbz and Kellen. I'm Chubbz.
And I'm Kellen.
And you know we like to open up every episode with a video clip of the week, something that we found humorous or just interesting. You ready for it, Kels?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's get to this clip.
What are we watching? What sport we got today?
Well, you know we like to take it to the ballpark, so we're back in the ballpark as per usual.
It's baseball season. There's a lot of baseball games going on.
Dodger jerseys on and everything else.
Yeah.
So let's get this clip.
All right.
Here we go.
All right. Looks like a foul ball.
Ball still in play. A little bit of a beer bath. Yeah, you know. Ball still.
Oh, he drops it.
Ooh.
Oh, the beer.
Okay.
Oh. The beer on the white.
Multiple fuck ups on that. Multiple. My question to you is, should he have even tried the one hand grab with the beer in hand?
I mean, it didn't seem like a line drive, right? I feel like he had time to set the beer. He had time to make a better decision.
Okay. What would you have done?
I would have set the beer down.
Right.
And I would have braced myself with my hand and just caught it. Or I would have not jumped and just caught it and, just gave a little bit with my hand. But I definitely would have went after the ball. I don't fault him for that. I just fault him for the inability to be aware and not be able to do two things at once, essentially.
Are you the guy that goes to the baseball game with the actual glove?
I do. I show up with the glove because I want to catch a foul ball. And for some reason, the baseball gods have not graced me with a foul ball nearly anywhere in my vicinity. I just get to watch other people catch them and the glory they get from that. And I sit there and wait. But one day, Chubbs, I will catch a foul ball.
Hopefully I'm there, bro.
Hopefully. Will you let me catch it? Or are you going to try to hit me out of the way?
I'm just chill. Everybody catch that shit.
All right.
But if you fuck up and drop it, I'm on your ass
Now,
the whole entire game.
I said it's his wife because I think that they're married personally. Because if you're on a Tinder date or dating that guy and he spills beer all over you, I think you're heading for the exit. I think you're meeting the girls downtown for some drinks, talking about the worst Tinder date that you've ever had.
There's no date number
Instead,
two?
she's just sitting there putting her hair back, just contemplating life, thinking about where she went wrong, why she ever thought that marrying this guy was a good decision when he can't even catch a baseball and hold beer at the same time.
Damn.
It's like that.
Wow. So
it is.
If they are in fact married, when they get home that night, does he still get laid?
I don't think he's gotten laid this year.
Yikes.
Yeah. I think it's been a rough year for him. That's why he got so excited when he saw something coming, you know?
You're dirty for that. I love it. That's awesome, bro. Okay, let's get into a couple of things we're going to discuss on the show today. Starting with the NFL.
Okay.
In recent reports, the GOAT, the vegan god himself,
Mr. Brady,
is planning on joining Fox Broadcasting once he retires from the NFL. You smell that?
I smell 10 years, $375 million.
Uh-oh.
I mean...
How you feel about that, Kel?
I mean, he's the GOAT. He deserves every penny.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to watch it. He's making a reported 20 to 25 million guaranteed per year. Guaranteed.
Ooh.
That is guaranteed. Where you have people like Tony Romo, Troy Aikman making 18 million a year. So he's crushing them per year on the field and off the field. Typical Brady GOAT status.
Damn. I'm going to get you on the field
and off the field.
Damn it.
Yes. So, but like I said, he's the GOAT. He deserves every penny. So congratulations. I think that now that he knows what he's passing up off the field, I think this makes it harder to come back after next year. Although there reports are that, this deal's on the table for whenever he wants to retire. There's also reports that I hear that he could end up on another team.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, I do think, though, when you have a 20 to 25 million guaranteed on the table with the potential of a 10-year, $375 million deal, which is more money than you've even made in your whole career in the NFL, retirement starts to look a little sweeter.
I heard you say that he could possibly play for another team. What team could that be? Where else could you see Tom
49ers.
Anywhere where it all started.
Where it all started. And, I don't think they're in love with Trey Lance, clearly. Jimmy, I think, is on the last year of his contract. Or he was on it last year. He's on a year-to-year at least. It's definitely...
Do you keep Lance as a young quarterback? If you were to get Tom Brady, and do you allow Tom Brady to kind of groom him for the position?
I don't think Tom Brady... I think Tom Brady looks at it like Ryan Tannehill looks at it on steroids. He has no interest in grooming you ever.
Even if you know he's on his way out.
Why?
Because Tannehill's kind of like still
but
trying to solidify.
But I think that like if you groom, it's kind of like when you're Tannehill status, you still got to play the game a little bit because they could still move on.
He's still trying to solidify himself.
He doesn't have to play. Brady doesn't have to play the game. He has no interest. If you want to learn, you're going to learn by just putting your nose up my ass and just following me and listening. But I'm not going to sit here and talk to you or tell you what to do or teach you anything. You just got to learn by watching.
I hear you. But just based on what you've seen of him, and he's such a team-oriented guy, seems like one of the dudes that's just really cool on the team, I can definitely see him taking the player under his wing, and especially knowing that he's on his way out. His position is solidified. His contribution to the NFL, nobody can take it away. He's
like
confident.
A team-oriented guy now with the stars. Like, he likes being one of the hanging
guys.
out. Yeah, but with, like, the star players. Like, he's not, like, you don't see him hanging out with his backup quarterback a lot. You see him hanging, it's always Rob Gronkowski, Mike Evans, his big guys, his big offensive stars.
Got you. Okay.
So I just don't see it. I don't see him caring about grooming. In fact, if I were him, he probably would demand that Trey Lance be traded so that he could, get another draft pick or possibly trade him for, an aging star that he still thinks he can get some great value out of, just to kind of put on that finishing touch or piece to that offense that may take him over the championship.
So as San Francisco as a franchise, let's say you do get Tom Brady, what is the plan in the future? Because we know Tom is maybe going to play a season, if that. What are you doing moving forward? How are you preparing to...
There is no plan B. And I think you can have that now. I mean, look at the way the quarterbacks have jumped around this year with Matthew Stafford winning with the Rams, with now Matt Ryan going over to the Colts, with
Russell Wilson going to the
Broncos. Like, you can kind of now play that game and then say, in a couple of years we'll figure it out. We'll find somebody, later in the draft.
Interesting.
Or later in the draft, or in free agency, or trading, or however you want to do it.
So you kind of set the table for the next guy.
Yeah.
Bring in a prominent quarterback, and then we just bring.
Because I think that's too now a big selling point to these guys. Because it used to be kind of, I felt like the market was dictated. Like, in other words, come to LA or come to these big town markets, and that's how we'll sell you. Where now, since we're in a global market, it's win the Super Bowl, and if you can prove to them that we already had a big time quarterback here that won the Super Bowl, and maybe he retired, and now you're on your last few years. Now you can replace him, but we've already proven our roster is set. It's an easier sell for them.
Got you. So the old school, bring in the young guy, groom him, prepare him to take over the ship. No, it's like, we want to win now, and we'll go get that savvy veteran who's been proven but just hadn't had the proper assets around him to complete the deal.
Yes. But what did I say in the first episode? I said the NFL is a copycat league.
True.
Right? And since that just worked as a success right now, that's what you're going to see a lot of teams trying to do. And that's why you saw a lot of these big free agent quarterbacks changing teams, because the NFL is a copycat league.
Nice. Well said. Totally agree with you on that. Good point. We'll see Tom. Could you imagine waking up Sunday morning, scratching your ass, getting out of bed, ready to watch football, and Tom Brady's calling the game? It's going to be dope.
It will be dope.
His insight, I just think, on the position of playing quarterback, the nuances, understanding schemes, offenses, defenses, I think he has so much to offer. I'm looking forward to that. I've hated Tom Brady as a player. I've always respected his skill level, talent. He's a winner, but I just hate everything Boston. I'm a real Angelino. We hate the Celtics. We hate the Red Sox. We hate the Patriots. So it's just
I feel that.
It's like that. So let's transition into some round ball, meaning NBA.
All right.
Recent reports of the MVP for the 2021-22 season. Your man from the Denver Nuggets, the Joker himself, has been awarded the MVP.
My man.
There you go. Talk about it.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in the voters. I think, to me, clearly Joel Embiid is the MVP. I think we've actually had some conversation about this. Do you have the stats?
Joker was 27, 13, and 8 this year. Joel was 30, 11, and 4, and was the scoring champion. Joel Embiid.
I mean, there's a lot to unwrap here.
A center.
Yeah, a center. I think two things. One, I think when you already won the MVP the year before, and now you're going back to back, you really have to have a great second season for me to want to give it to you back to back, because there's too many great players in the NBA to give you back to back. And I don't think he had that great of, like, was it great? Yes. But obviously he's going to have a great season. Murray's out. Porter's been out with a back since he was in college. So who else does he have? You're paying Porter $200 million. You're already paying Murray. There's no reason, like, he's the only guy on the team. Now, on top of that, Denver has the biggest advantage in home games because of that altitude. You ever try to go up there and play? And he's playing there all year round, so he's used to it. It's the easiest 27, 18, and 8, I think, in the NBA, where you have Joel Embiid, who's the most dominant center in the NBA right now, in the regular season. I will say that. And I think clearly, to me, he was the regular season MVP.
Piggybacking off what you were saying, I agree. I think Jokic is a great player. I think he has a lot to offer. He's a major asset to the Denver Nuggets. But to me, when it comes down to being MVP and being an integral piece of your team, how far are you able to take this team with your talent, right? Mm-hmm. Joel is still playing. He's in the second round of the playoffs. And my boy Joker, he didn't get past the first round. Now, mind you, he had a few players that were missing, and I get that. But you have to look at it like, does that give him the argument of being the MVP because he didn't have his players? Or does that take away from his argument the fact that he didn't have his players to show his true value to that team as far as being the main asset? Can he lift him up and take him to the second round? And I think overall, I think Joel had a better season because, like I said, he's still playing in the playoffs. And when Joel went down in this series against the Miami Heat, they lost both games. As soon as he came back, they won 2 games.
Yep.
So
I
proof
think
was in the pudding to me. What
to me, I mean, I think you just sold it right there. You know, if you were the car salesman, guess what? Give me the keys. So, that's it.
We're driving off the lot.
We're driving off the lot. Where do I sign? So, that's it.
What do you think about the fact that the 2 primary finalists for the MVP were centers? What does that say about the big man in the game? Because, we've kind of went away from the dominant center, the Shaquille O'Neals, the David Robertsons, the Patrick Ewings, the Hakeem Olajuwons, and even sometimes Tim Duncan, even though he's really a power forward. We've kind of went away with that with the stretch forward, the Dirk Nowitzkis, the players who can step out, shoot 3-pointers. Mm-hmm. The fact that we're talking about 2 big men as being MVP, do you think the old essence of the big man has come back? Or are these guys just more athletic and more skillful and capable?
I think that's what it is. I think it's a 2-parter. I think that, like I said, I think Golden State's going to be the front runner, and with their small ball. And I think that the 3 in the small ball has become clearly, based off analytics, the more dominant way to win. So, and there's a few teams that are kind of left behind, mm-hmm. and they're playing still that old school. Mm-hmm. So when you have all these guys that are a lot smaller but shooting threes, playing a winning basketball, Joel Embiid isn't going against as many dominant centers every night. So his numbers will be a little bit better than a team that has 5 guys spreading it around, playing, passing it around. Everybody's getting their 8 for 15 and shots in, and they're scoring 150 points.
Nice.
So,
let me ask you another question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're talking about Joker and obviously Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think the Greek Freak had a legit chance to win MVP? And also your boy in Memphis, Ja Morant.
My boy in Memphis.
Well, you like Ja.
I do like Ja. I do like Ja, but he was a little too injured for me this year.
Good point. And his team actually played better, I think, when he was injured.
When he was injured, yeah. For part of the
streak.
season, and definitely in the beginning of the season. Yes. I do think Giannis was left out. I think, like I said, how you need to have a better year after 2. It's almost impossible to win 3. I feel like they need to sell the fans on multiple MVPs.
Gotcha.
And But that's why it's disappointing, because I do think they missed, like, Embiid should be an MVP right now. Like, they should be able to sell next season on the 76ers and Joel Embiid being the MVP, but instead now they're just going to sell it on a Denver game with Jokic being a 2-time MVP, and I'm less likely to watch that game than I am the 76ers 1-time MVP, Joel Embiid.
Good point. What do you think about these guys and actually them being international players? Do you think
Yeah,
that
4
the
years,
game is coming
international.
abroad?
That's interesting.
The game has grown, and it's usually had a European influence, but obviously Embiid, I think he's from, is he from Cameroon or?
Yeah, he is. He's from Cameroon.
Central Africa.
Yes.
So the game is abroad now.
It is abroad, and I do, again, I think it goes down to selling abroad.
You got Luka, who's an international player who's balling.
Balling, yes.
So the international players are. Do you think they've been overseas studying the NBA, watching players like, for instance, Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant, and Tim Duncan, and just developing?
I think that it's development. I think we've gotten softer as a country in the development. You know, it's all for fun. Let's all just play and hug each other and shake hands. And that's not what pro sports is about. Pro sports is about competition. Pro sports is about, from a young age, realizing that you have some talent and going out there and getting it. I think I saw Kobe Bryant talk about something, and even as a person who's competitor, he sounded crazy to me, but this was his mindset. He's like, let's say I work out 2 days or twice a day. If I wake up at 10 o'clock and then I work out for 2 hours and I go get lunch and then I go work out again from 3 to 7 and then I go home and I go to bed, I worked out twice that day for 4 hours. I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Let's say I wake up at 4 a.m. and I work out from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m., go get some breakfast, do those 2 workouts, but instead of going home, come back again for a late night workout. Now I've outworked you times 2, and I've worked all day.
Good point. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that the international players are more focused on a skill set, meaning being able to dribble with both hands, pivot, you know what I'm saying, shoot with both hands, be able to pivot off either foot, more of the skillful instances of basketball, as opposed to maybe the domestic, meaning American players who are more athletically gifted and rely more on athleticism than more skill? Do you think that plays a part in why the MVP voting is leaning towards more of an international player than a domestic American homebred player?
I think it's the handlers. You know, we all know the NBA. It's one of the few sports where I think in high school a lot of the top talent kind of gets picked up by, I call them handlers, people that are going to help them further their career, you know, with hopes of gaining some monetary value at the end of the day. And I think the handlers in America are more likely to kind of kiss the ass and just let them go out there and play, where in Europe they get there and they'll be like, okay, we're gonna refine this skill set, and that's where they really, and they get to go play pro ball in Europe early on. But that's all about, like I'm saying, that's all a mindset of ball comes first over there. And that used to be here, but I feel like nowadays it's fewer and far between.
Gotcha. Good points. Let's stay in the NBA. Let's talk about something that's big in Los Angeles right now. Recent reports from an interview in the LA Times with the great Bill Plaschke. Shout out, Bill. Jeannie Buss broke her silence regarding the past season with the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm going to actually read one of her quotes, if that's all right with you, Kel.
Yeah. Let's see what she's saying.
You smelling it?
I'm smelling it.
Okay. She says...
Smelling's on the stinky.
This is directly from Jeannie Buss. I'm growing impatient just because we had the 4th highest payroll in the league. When you spend that kind of money on the luxury tax, you expect to go deep into the playoffs. So yeah, it was a gut-wrenching experience for me to go out on a limb like that and not get the results that we were looking for. I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied. This is coming from the boss lady.
I mean, you know, when mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, right? Isn't that what they say?
You right.
So, but I don't think she's saying anything that nobody in LA isn't thinking or thought. We all know it was a disappointing season. So now it's, what are you going to do about it? You know, and I don't think it's on her to make that decision, but I would be looking at Rob Pelinka and saying, what are you going to do about it?
Rob Pelinka is supposedly also, well, she said that Phil Jackson's helping her with the pursuit of a new coach and
But
some of the affairs.
let's be honest. How many times has that head coach came in the NBA with the same squad and really turned it around to where they're now a championship contender? Although I'm saying that with the Suns being the number one overall, and I do believe that that's kind of what their head coach has done.
Well, when it comes to Phil Jackson, she's speaking more of an advisory role, helping her to find that proper candidate for the Lakers to have a coach.
No, and I understand, and I think Phil's going to do a great job, and I'm excited. Oh yeah, I mean, I think he will. I think he'll do a good job finding us a good coach. But how do you find somebody that's going to take on Russell Wilson's $46 million contract or Russell Westbrook's $46 million contract? That's my question.
How do you feel about Russell being added to the team this year? Do you feel like going into next season he's a player you want to keep, or is it somebody you want to...
I want him gone. And I loved Russ Westbrook, and I still love him, but I want him gone. We tried it. We gave it a shot. Like, I think we were talking about it earlier, but you look back to, they compared this to the Malone, the 04, Gary Payton, Kobe, Shaq team. And to me, there's no comparison. That team lost in the finals.
True.
I would have loved to see that team come back.
Yeah.
I think they would have won it the next year. This team looked abysmal. They were boring to watch. They very rarely looked like they ever had it together, even looked like they were even close to becoming a championship team. I think Russell Westbrook needs to go. I think AD needs to go.
I'm going to ask you another interesting question. If you're a coach, are you excited? Are you intrigued? And do you want to even take the Lakers' job? When you look at this roster from top to bottom, does this roster make you feel like you can accomplish the ultimate goal, which is to win the ring?
Yes. I still believe in LeBron James.
Okay.
I still think you can build a championship team around LeBron James.
So you do want to move a couple pieces around.
A couple pieces around. You have the fourth, Jeannie Buss is showing she's going to spend money. She has the fourth highest payroll in the league.
True.
You're from LA, so you can attract talent. I think LeBron could scare away a little bit of talent because I don't think he's hard to play for. I think he's always going to be the star, and some people don't like that. Until LeBron retires, he will be the star of that team.
Gotcha. Do you think LeBron has an influence or a major impact on players that come in?
Absolutely.
As far as the decisions being made? Because it's been reported that Clutch Sports runs the Lakers.
Absolutely. I believe it 100%.
You want me to tell you what Jeannie said in response to that?
What?
She was asked that question and she said, do they have final say? No. Are they running the team? No. No, not at all. I am controlling owner of the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm held accountable for every decision that's made here.
It's a bunch of words that says nothing.
Got you.
The answer is what LeBron wants, LeBron gets. But I do think that's kind of LeBron's biggest failure right now. Is I think he's the best basketball player in the world, or for a long time was, and he's still up there in the top 2 or 3. But you look at his ability to pick other people's talent, and even with the Cavs, it's been awful. Giving Tristan Thompson big contract. Who has he ever said that they want to keep that has ended up being a star? Beside Kyrie Irving came in a star.
True. Very dominant.
Yeah, anybody could call that, but everybody that he says is great, and they end up giving him a bigger contract than you'd expect. They never end up performing the way you think they're going to perform.
True. Well said. Well said. So we got some games tonight.
We do have some games tonight.
So are we going to get into what we smelling?
Yeah.
We like to predict how it's going to go down. You know what I'm saying? Well, look,
I'm feeling good tonight.
you did good last week. I'm not going to lie.
I did all right.
You did good.
All right.
You called the Memphis game that they actually won. You called that game.
I did.
I'll give you
I
credit.
did.
I'll give you a
I mean, I had a 50-50 chance,
So we got Warriors and Grizzlies tonight. So we're going to let you guys know what we're smelling with our great predictions. Warriors, Grizzlies. The series is 3-1. Is this series over?
The series is over.
Dunzo.
Ja Morant out. Somebody blew on his knee too hard. So he's out He's out. He's gonna be sitting with his dad courtside. They're gonna be having some drinks, watching the Warriors.
Yeah,
that would be looking good. They probably flew private,
shit,
but they're gonna be headed home tonight. Maybe probably headed to Vegas tonight.
Fuck it.
And they're calling it a year.
Catch the Usher show.
Yeah, he deserves it. Great year.
Residency.
Great year. Go enjoy some time. Get back, and let's see what you have next year. Thank you for the highlights. On to the next one, Warriors.
Gotcha. Let's talk about this very entertaining epic battle between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics. This series is 2-2. Mind you, I do agree with you. That series over. The Warriors are going to win it. I agree with Kels.
All right.
But when we get to the Boston Celtics and Bucks, 2-2 tonight. Game, I believe, is in Boston. What are you thinking?
I think this is the most interesting game. I think this is the most interesting game in the playoffs so far. And I'm super excited to watch it. And
Ooh, give me that pick. You thinking? I like when you thinking.
I'm gonna go with the Boston Celtics. I've switched teams, and it's not because
You don't like the Greek freak anymore. You were
I
all into the
am
Greek freak, bro.
into him,
You
but
were all into the Greek freak.
you know what?
You were walking around eating hummus, pita, and
then
everything else.
But then you know what? But then I watched the game and I fell in love with some Al Horford. I fell in love with him
The
again.
old man has been balling.
You know, he's like that girl that I dated in high school. And then I found the new girl and I was dating her. But then I went on Instagram and I saw some old pics and I was just fell right back in love.
Damn.
You know?
So you got the leprechaun.
I do.
Done today.
I got Boston getting it done today. I do have the series going to a game 7, and we will see how I feel after the next 2 games to predict.
Your reserve judgment.
I'm reserving judgment on that, but Boston's taking it tonight.
Well, I hate to say it, but me and this guy agree on the board. I'm going Warriors and I'm going Boston. I think it's going to be a great game as far as the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. It's going to come down to the last 2 minutes. Who's able to execute proper defense as well as score. I think Tatum, he's going to reach in his bag tonight. Your favorite player, Jaylen Brown, is going to go off. Tell people how much you love Jaylen Brown.
I love him for that 12 points he's about to score tonight.
Man, he had
He had 18 last game. And here's my thing with Jaylen Brown. I was thinking about. I was looking at the stats. How do you go off for? This is why I don't like him. It's the competitive nature. How do you go off for 30 plus points the game before, and then you only take 13 shots the next game? It wasn't even a bad game. It was like 8 for 13 or something like that for 18 points. But I'm not scoring 30 points, in the prime of my career, in the biggest series of all the series going on in the NBA, and not coming out and at least giving myself the opportunity to score another 30 points to become a star. Because what did Michael Jordan say? You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
Ooh, he went to the GOAT and got out the quote book. Ooh, I heard the hell out of that. So let's make a bet, right? Let's bet some avocado toast. I got Jaylen going for 25 plus tonight.
I will bet avocado toast on that right now.
So you say he won't score?
He will not score 25 points tonight.
Okay, y'all witness.
We are
avocado
man.
Toast is on the line.
I'm so excited to get some avocado toast.
Jaylen gonna get them 27 points from me. Okay, we're gonna wrap up with we're gonna go back to NFL. Something that you wanted to speak about.
I did.
Excited about the Honey Badger, so I'm gonna let you go ahead.
I am excited, guys. I think that one of the most underrated signings happened this week, which is the Honey Badger going home to the Saints. Right. That is a captain on defense. That is a quarterback of your defense. That is a person that's going to take your rookies and going to put them in the right spots at all times. We're talking about a player. When you asked me about Brady and could he be a mentor? No. But will Tyrann Mathieu be a mentor to his players for the Saints? Guaranteed. Watch the Saints defense. Watch how many picks they get against Brady. Watch them win their conference. Watch it. I call it here first. Tyrann Mathieu is a steal.
He said the Saints are marching in and the NFC South is theirs.
Yes.
You standing on that?
I'm standing on it.
Like a rock.
Like a rock. Jameis Winston, don't let me down. Don't let me down.
So all the etouffee, all the beignets, all the gumbo, we partying in New Orleans, y'all.
We are.
Well, I think that's a great note to end the episode on this week. I think we touched some good points, had some good dialogue. Also, I want to send my condolences to the Lanier family. The great Hall of Fame center, Bob Lanier, passed away last night. He was not only a good NBA player, but he was an even greater human, a real true humanitarian. So we want to send our condolences to the family. And Definitely. We're going to wrap up this episode. What You Smellin with Chubbz and Kellen. I'm Chubbz.
And I'm Kellen.
We see y'all soon. We love y'all. Peace.
Peace.